or daily routine. And then also there is seasonal rhythm, so seasonal cycle, like winter, spring, summer, and fall, and then again winter, like that. Ayurvedic means a specific routine and eat what to eat, what not to eat, and all that. So this is kind of eternal recipe to stay healthy and prevention of imbalance or an illness. There are these two very famous quotes. Those who are in Vedic recitation, they might know. Rhythm and cycles is fundamental of continuum. So we can see that Earth is rotating and all the planets are rotating. So there are rhythms and cycles. That is continuum of life. And one of the quote, which is what these two quotes are relevant, and I will explain briefly. The first one is Yatha Pinde Tatha Brahmande. As is the microcosm, so is the macrocosm. So there is this connection. We are from Vedic perspective, everything is made up of 5 elements, Panch Mahabhutas. So earth, water, fire, air, and space. Prithvi, Jal, Tej, Vayu, Akash. So our body is made up of 5 elements. Plants are made up of 5 elements. Earth is made up of 5 elements. Everything that we see and exist is made up of 5 elements. And balance of these 5 elements, which then again are also explained in terms of doshas. Vata is made up of air and space. Pitta is made up of water and fire, and Kapha is made up of fire, and Kapha is made up of earth and water. So 5 elements make these doshas, and balance of these is important. So everything that we consume goes through our mouth is 5 elements. With that, we can increase an element or decrease an element. So if there is an imbalance, say if fire element is increased, this means pitta is increased, then that will represent as inflammation in our body. So we will have to avoid the things that are more heat increasing. So spicy food and sour and pickles, those things. So that is what is the meaning of this one. Another one quote is Ano Raniyan Mahato Mahiya. So Ano means means smaller than the smallest. So we can say atomic or molecular. But the most important thing here is the smaller than the smallest is same as greater than the greatest. So which means we are similar to galaxies and solar system and universe, and we influence them, and we get influenced by that. So our health and balance can get influenced by that. Now this is the Vedic code. We would say, oh, this is old and may not be relevant, but here you can see this Nobel Prize of 2017 for medicine went to these 3 doctors listed: Jeffrey C. Hall, MD, and Michael Rosbosch and Michael W. Young. What they proved in their 17 years of study is molecular mechanism, which means even in our cell, in our body. So we break down the body into systems into organs into tissues into shell, and we go in cell organelles, and then nucleus, and then in the nucleus there is DNA. And so even at that molecular level, the molecular mechanism controlling the circadian rhythm. So the switch off and on at that level can actually affect according to circadian rhythm. So that means our body mechanism at the deepest level gets affected by circadian rhythm: sunset, sunrise, evening, morning, winter. It gets affected by that. So this is the important message here. This is what is proven by these doctors, and they were honored by Nobel Prize. As you can see also at the bottom, molecular mechanism controlling the circadian rhythm. Life on Earth is adapted to rotation of our planet, and we sometimes see this also in our nature. the same article also says the master clock, which is in our brain, and it is in each and every cell. About 20,000 nerve cells make up our master clock. So this master clock within us is influenced by whatever is happening outside in terms of daily cycle, in terms of sunrise, sunset, sun at peak in the afternoon time. And so this particular part which gets influenced or affected by this is called suprachiasmatic nucleus. And this structure, which sits inside an area called hypothalamus, controls our bodies, our own physiologies, circadian rhythm. Uh, they also did experiment on plants, they did on cell, they did on animals. So they did very broad study. And we know many times if we have some plants on the window, we can see that how the leaves of the window and leaves of the plants, they move according to movement of sun, and they grow better if they are placed on the place where there is more sunlight coming. So that means they are also sensitive. You can see that how this in this particular diagram, one particular plant's leaves are fully bloomed, and in the night time, you can see that how they have collapsed. So this is important. They did also the study when some plant was put more in the dark, it was not growing as well, while the other plant was growing well, which has more sunlight. So here are the things. The circadian clock affects physiology, different phases of day. What are the important things that actually are important? And so circadian clock affects our body. This is the study done. It affects our sleep pattern. So when we really feel sleepy, it affects our feeding behavior. It affects our hormone release. We know that the whole body system is controlled by hormonal system and nervous system, two most important systems. It affects our blood pressure and it affects our body temperature. We might be in the impression that all of these things doesn't matter. With what if you want to sleep, you want to sleep. Blood body temperature is all same all the time. That's not true. In this picture, it is shown how different time of the day has different influence in our body. So between 6 to 12, you can see the sun is there. So that's where different kinds of activities are more prominent on, and in the evening time it is different. So you can see here that the fastest increase in blood pressure between 6 to 2 and highest alertness of mind, that is around, you can see 11 o'clock. So in the morning time, 11 o'clock, and 6 o'clock is cortisol release that helps us to deal with the stress condition. And the lowest body temperature, you can see here, that is around, you would say, 4 o'clock is lowest body temperature, and body is much more settled, much more calm. So that's where 4 o'clock, around 4 o'clock, our system, Vedic system, suggests that is the best time to do the meditation, to do yogic activities, to do yoga, all of these things. While here you see the deep sleep phase, and this is very relevant for when should we go to bed. You can see here between 18 and 24. So the 18 is 6 p.m. and then 24. So that's around, I would say, like 8 o'clock or 8:30, somewhere around 9 o'clock. We know that what particular hormone is released naturally from brain for sleep. That's melatonin. We know that whenever someone has a problem in sleeping, for natural methods, they are recommended melatonin. Or someone who travels and for jet to deal with jet lag, they are given melatonin. But our body produces, our brain produces melatonin. But when it produces the most, that is around this 9:30. So if it is already there and which induces sleep, it makes sense that what is the best time to go to bed when body is already getting ready with the effect of melatonin. And if many of you might recall that when around 9:30 there is natural yawning. But if over months or over years we have gotten into habit of sleeping at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock and ignore those natural signals, then that effect is gone. And now not anymore we get the sleep at that time because we have ignored natural calls, natural signals, and our body is completely confused. And then good luck. Good luck. Sorry for the disturbance. So these you can see here that how this study shows that body has different kind of effect in different times of different time of the day and on different factors that are important. Now here, will this self check whatever we said about what dosha type after you know that what is your dosha type. And just to let you know that to know the dosha type, on the website, my website, www.holisticayurveda.ca, there is a quiz. And so you can just go and take it. It's complimentary. And then it will, at the end, it will show you the score. So at least you will know what is your dosha type. Once you know, you are well on the way to taking charge of your daily well-being. In this particular chart, is according to Ayurveda, it explains that how pitta is more dominant, more increased, naturally increased between 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock a.m. and p.m. Now, there is a difference, of course. In night, it is pitta predominant, but in the daytime, it's more compared to nighttime. So it's not same, but because we know that the sun is going at peak, so around, I would say 9:30, 10, and then 12, it is the maximum, and then it starts going down. So the pitta time is between 10 to 2 a.m. and p.m. and vata time is between 2 to 6 again a.m. and p.m. and kapha time it is between 6 to 10 a.m. and p.m. And this is the chart for predominance of vata, pitta, kapha in season. So you can see here that summer is more pitta and winter is more vata and the spring is more kapha. And we'll talk about briefly about the season. And this is shown according to age dosha in life cycle. So you can see here from birth time to age 30 an average. I mean, if we consider the life on an average 100 years, then that's what is taken here. Sometimes it could be less or more, but I would say at between 20 to 25, that would be more kapha, and then there is a transition. You can see color is changing, and between 25 to 55, it is more pitta time, and in the middle it is the peak, and then 55 onwards it is vata starts increasing. So growth phase, which is kapha, is more anabolic, which is kapha, and then the middle one, this is pitta, maintaining whatever we have grown into. Even modern science says that by age of 20, all our cells, brain cells, bone cells, muscle cells, organic cells, all cells grow to maximum maturity around 20. So it is in sync with whatever modern information is said. The 60 onwards is more catabolic. So it's more, we know that all parts of our body, they start getting dry, the nails start getting brittle, hair starts getting dry and fall, and receding gums and bone osteoporosis, all of those things start, and that is more vata. So now I will talk briefly. So what does Ayurveda recommend after having known this, that what Vedic system says and what modern science says is to live life in sync with natural cycles, which is daily routine and seasonal routine. So I will briefly go through this. So we will start with morning routine, and what is said that the morning routine starts from night before. So which means what time we go to bed. If we are in habit of going to bed late, 12 o'clock, then we will wake up late. That means 7 o'clock. And that is kapha time, and kapha is heavy. So when people are in that routine and they have to go to school, they have to rush to school, they are waking up in kapha time. So which means kapha qualities means feeling drowsy or feeling lethargic, not having energy, and still they push themselves to go to school. So they don't have best energy and best alertness if they are in habit of sleeping late and waking up. So that's why we say we are waking during the vata time. And as we remember, the vata time was between 2 o'clock in night to 6 o'clock. So vata means alertness, more energy, right? This is the time when people should wake up and do some yoga and some Surya Namaskar, sun salutation, because natural energy is there by nature. So, and then, so which also suggests that we should get into habit of sleeping when the melatonin is maximum in our blood. And that, as if you remember, it was 9 p.m., 9 p.m. onwards. So best time to go to bed is around 8:30, 9 or 9:30. Also from one of the chart you might remember the deep sleep, and that was around 11 or 12. So when we get more rest, it is not about how many number of hours we are on bed. It is about how long deep sleep we have. And that deep sleep is around 11 or 12, which means if we sleep at that time, we are actually delaying or not having that deep sleep phase. If we sleep around 9 o'clock, then there are higher chances of having those deep sleep phase, not just one. Every 90 minutes, there are 90-minute phases of the sleep. Every 90-minute cycle is repeated. So there are more chances of having deep sleep phase during one sleep time. So if we try to go to bed around 9:30, that is the best. And it doesn't need to be just like today you want to do it. It can be in Ayurveda, we say everything comes by abhyas, by practice. And so which means that if you are in the habit of 12, 12:30, then just reduce by sleep half an hour early for 15 days. And then gradually you will be able to, after 15 days, again, you can reduce further half an hour. And then you will, otherwise what happens if you suggest no sleep, this is the best time, and they try to go to bed and they toss on bed for an hour or so, that's wastage of time. So gradually try to get into the suitable time and ideal time, which is between 9 to 10. And then so that way you will wake up early and you will have more time, you will have more energy, and you can practice meditation. We suggest, according to Vedic routine, Brahma Muhurta is the best time for nature is quiet, clean, and so that's the best time for meditation, for yoga, for sun salutation, and all other morning routine things. Another very important thing is elimination. I see so many problems now increasing of colon cancer, colon colitis, irritable bowel syndrome, Most of those are because of ignorance of not having habit of morning powers. It just makes so much sense that when we eat food, it takes about 8 hours for that food to reach in the colon, rectum. Once it reaches there, there is no function. It's not giving anything. It just need to be eliminated. But if it sits there longer, then what happens? It starts getting harder and it rubs the colon, and several kind of colon problems can start. So it is very important to teach children to be in a habit of morning elimination. I see so many patients where actually the children are coming home saying, I had tummy pain. They don't go to school, they have tummy pain. And so they are in habit of, and then particularly girls, the constipation is a habit, then their periods becomes very painful. So it's very important to be in habit of morning elimination. To facilitate that process, we can start with some hot water or some lemon or honey. We can start with some cumin, coriander, fennel tea. So those are the things. Or even in the night, uh, in the morning, we can soak some triphala powder, 1 teaspoon, and in the night they can take it with some hot water. So that will help also to regulate bowel. Some exercise, as I suggested, of these cleaning the mouth and teeth. Sorry. Uh, what is not, I haven't seen, not in common habit, because what happens when we eat food, naturally in the morning time, something, some coating comes on the tongue. For everyone, it happens, and it is important to remove that. And the simplest way that is recommended in Ayurveda is use the tongue cleaner. In the olden systems, people used to go out and just pick neem branch and split in half, and then that's how they were doing it. They will do the brush with that, and then they will clean it. But now we have these copper tongue cleaners, we have steel tongue cleaners, but very important because our digestion starts, we think starts in the stomach. No, it starts on tongue. We have 6 taste buds, and those taste buds, first exposure to food is on those taste buds. But more important is when those taste buds are stimulated, when the food comes, then whatever food, sweet, sour, salt, protein, whatever, those taste buds sense it and they send signal to brain. And then brain secretes specific enzymes according to whatever food is in the mouth. This is called cephalic phase or brain phase of digestion. And so if we chew food properly, and if we eat food properly, and then also if we clean and expose these taste buds from the coating that is there, that helps for digestion. After that, what Ayurveda recommends is our skin is the biggest organ in our body, and it is the seat of vata, sensation, vata, or nervous system. Everywhere there is sensation, which is vata, which is nervous system. Easiest way to keep it rejuvenated, to keep it healthy, our nervous system, our skin, our circulation, easiest way is Abhyanga or Ayurvedic herbalized oil massage. It's simple, basically. You don't need to learn massage. It's just application of oil going from extremities towards your heart. So from head, heart, from fingers to heart, from feet, then towards heart. And the long bones, long strokes, and the joints, round strokes. So it's simple. And the benefits of Abhyanga are, you can see here, increased radiance on skin and skin health, improved circulation, improved mobility and flexibility of joints, promotion of good sleep, grounded, restfulness. Those are the things. So you can see by just one simple thing how many benefits we can get. And this is also a study that is proven that those who are in this habit, around when vata is increasing by age, which is around 50, all the problems related to aging, they can be prevented by just this simple habit of massage every day. Sun salutation is another very good thing. We can call it neuromuscular coordination. Is enhanced and better by this asanas and sun salutation. Sun salutation is one thing that actually can give. So if you don't want to follow the whole session, 1 hour session, and you just want to keep it simple, just sun salutation, Surya Namaskar, with specific focus on breathing, pranayam, can help a lot. And fortunately, we have several yoga teachers in the community here in Ottawa who actually teach those. So everyone should join. And those sessions also teach meditation and warm-up exercise and all those things. Breakfast is very important, and a great breakfast according to dosha type. Kapha dosha type people who are big body frame, have tendency of easy gaining weight. They don't need as much breakfast. They have easy tendency to gain weight, and the breakfast time usually kapha time, so they gain more weight if they have heavy breakfast. But pitta people, their digestion is good, their hunger is good, their appetite is good. They have to. Generally speaking, we shouldn't have like too much dairy product, too much bread, white bread particularly, yogurt in the morning. So more fruits, more juices, some soup, some dalia, some khichdi. Those are better options for breakfast. And then we have the lunchtime. Eating too many snacks or things during the daytime is not really helpful. And then lunchtime, what is the best time? Sometimes people, because of work, they just delay the lunchtime. According to this study that got Nobel Prize, what they said, the digestive enzymes naturally are at peak in our blood at around, I would say, between 11:30 to 1 o'clock. So if the enzymes are available there, then when should we eat? When the fire is available. When should we cook? When the fire is there. Enzymes are like fire because they help to break down the food. So if we eat between I would say 12 to 1, that's ideal time. The food will get best digested and broken down, and then we will get what we are supposed to get from food, which is energy and nutrition, right? So we will get best nutrition from by eating around that time, because it will get digested properly. And then after that, also what Ayurveda recommends that after lunch or after any meal, we should walk a little bit. So it could be 100 steps. And then after that, just it also recommends sitting on diamond posture, Vajras, for just few minutes, 2-3 minutes. It just aligns the whole tract, so the alimentary tract and stomach, and then helps food move downwards easy and properly. So sitting on Vajrasana will be helpful. And then around 4 or 5 o'clock, again, Ayurveda recommends that's Vata time. So we were doing asana, pranayam, meditation in the morning time, around Vata time, so which is 5-6 o'clock in the morning. Same thing in the evening also. If we can do that, if we are in that habit, then that will be also helpful. In the evening routine, because we know that sun was at peak around 12 in the afternoon, so dinner relatively pitta is not that high. So dinner should be light, which is just opposite to what we do actually. Our main meal is usually in the evening time, and enzymes are not at peak at that time. We can still have dinner. We can have some soups, we can have some vegetables, we can have dal, we can also have some rice cooked with some turmeric and cumin and those things. So there are many such things that can be eaten, but not heavy meal. Those who are non-vegetarian, not that particularly at that time. Those who are vegetarian, uh, too much food with paneer and deep fried food and puri and parathas and samosas and all those sweets, not best in the night time. We are inviting problems like diabetes and weight and hypertension and cholesterol and all those things. And timing should be before 7 p.m. if we can. If we are in habit of eating too late, then maybe gradually bring it down. These weekend parties is a fashion in our community. We have to watch them very carefully. Then after that, again, after dinner, a little bit of walk and some activities, but not go into TV with some stimulating shows, which are exciting because they just disturb going into sleep easy. So these are the things for evening routine. Then we go into seasonal routine. So Pitta season was summer, and in that heat increases, Pitta increases. So what has diet? It has to be Pitta pacifying, which is sweet, cooling, like juices, fruits, vegetables, stir-fry vegetables, soups, asparagus, squashes, soups, and vegetables. What we need to avoid in this time is sour, acidic, fermented, pickles, hot, spicy food, which should be avoided in summer. Vata season, which is winter, as we know, in the winter, sometimes it is cold, and Vata is cold. So naturally, in the cold season, Vata increases, and Vata is also dry. Sometimes we start feeling dry skin and everything. So that's why in this season we have to do the opposite. And the principle is whatever is increasing, we have to do opposite. So Vata is cold, dry weather increases Vata. So we have to Vata pacifying. And so for Vata pacifying, Vata is cold and dry. So we have to have hot and oily. So favor oily food, warm foods, warm drinks, little bit heavier, relatively heavier, sweet, salty, and sour foods. Avoid dry, cold foods and drinks. In the Kapha season, which is spring, is coming in a couple of months. And so then what is the difference between Vata? Vata is cold and Kapha is cold. The difference is Vata is dry and Kapha is not dry. It is wet weather, and as we know, in just 1 month or so, all the snow that is around starts melting and starts going in the ground, and so then the plant trees, they start getting their nourishment with more wet and that condition. So that is the difference. So for Kapha, we will not take oily. This increases Kapha. So Kapha pacifying, warm food, little bit not as much oily food, favor light, less oily, warm, spicy. These are the things that could be preferred, and avoid oily, heavy, sweet, sour, salty foods for this particular season. So this is just a chart that how we can create our own health plan, balancing doshas according to different variations. So we talked today different kind of nature variations, and one is the variation according to daily cycle, another variation according to seasonal cycle, and third is according to age. So you can see here, your Prakriti. Vata Prakriti is more oily and regular. They need more oil and regular routine. Pitta, they need more cool and soothing things, and Kapha more dry and light. So stir fry and baking foods are better for Kapha, those who have tendency of gaining weight, EV, diabetes, or those things. And then you can see according to age also you can follow, so you can create your own plan. So that was a brief talk on the value of seasonal routine. And that is it from me. If you want to ask any questions.